Hey MVPs, RicoKnows here. I'm actually going to make this video free. Every now and then I'll do a deep dive for free. So here we are. I'm doing a futures bet win total for Rutgers. And all you guys watching this on a free video, I just need you guys to understand, I do this for every single team in America. Probably a little more in depth than the other videos, but this one's going to be free. Typically I have a huge chart up that has all the overs and unders on whether or not they're locks, leans, or value bets. And it's the whole chart's up. Now, I'm not going to show you the chart, because this video individually is free. But if you become an MVP, you'll see the chart in other videos. That being said, we're looking at the Big Ten football win totals. They put it out here, and I don't have the FanDuel showing of the odds. So I don't know what the payout is because my view of FanDuel does not have Rutgers on there. So there's Rutgers at 6.5 wins. This means the sports books have them either winning 6 or 7 games. You can choose either one. If you think the over, you say they're going to win 7 regular season games, not including the bowl games or the playoffs, and then or are they going to win 6? So let's go look at their record. Here's what they did last year back in 2023. Pretty significant. They start the season off beating Northwestern, who ended up being a bowl team. But that was Northwestern's first game with David Braun. They didn't get their wheels underneath them. If you remember that, it was just a terrible game at home for Rutgers. And the defense was so stout. And at that point, I thought, man, Northwestern's going to have another 1-11 season. They obviously didn't. They bounced back and played great. But you win. And then one of the more impressive wins, Virginia Tech, I think at this time they still weren't starting Kyron Drones. So 3 wins to start the season. Then you go face the juggernaut in Michigan. They actually played pretty good in the first half, if you remember that. It was close for a little while. They just couldn't score. And it's impossible to score when you have a guy like Gavin Wimsatt. We'll talk about it. I've been talking about Gavin Wimsatt for 2 years now. And I said, man, Rutgers needs to hit the transfer portal and go get a real quarterback. I wish they would have done it 2 years ago, because Gavin Wimsatt cannot play quarterback at the FBS level. He's just not a quarterback. There's Wagner. Beat the crap out of Wagner. Looking pretty good. Go out, lose to Wisconsin on the road. To be expected. To be expected. Beat Michigan State. They were falling apart. Both these coaches lost their jobs. Shout out to Indiana. 2 weeks to prepare for Ohio State, and they looked the part. They were very competitive. Still lost the game. Shut out by Iowa. Iowa's defense is stout, and that offense is gross. The Rutgers offense is gross. At Penn State, couldn't get it done. Don't match up well. Against Maryland, didn't match up well. Lost bad. And then you go to the bowl game, and they blow out, or I shouldn't say they blow out. They beat Miami, which is just otherworldly. I don't remember what my prediction was. We probably got it right because we did really well during bowl season. Shout out to the MVPs. But this was last season. Something Rutgers is known for. Greg Schiano's a head coach. Their defense is dominant. Their defense does come to play. And my goodness, are they ready for the 2024 season? Let's go talk about the stats real quick. You see it here. Quarterback play. Collectively, all the quarterbacks combined for 48% completion percentage. Oh, by the way, it was mostly Gavin Wimsatt's 47.8 completion percentage. He's now the backup quarterback at Kentucky. He hit the transfer portal, and rightfully so. This is not a quarterback. 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Can you imagine you have a winning season with a quarterback stat line like this? How the hell do you win games with this quarterback stat line? It's because Kyle Monungai's great. Good running back, 1,200-yard rusher. Okay? Gavin Wimsatt did run him in the red zone. Fine. Well, that's okay. No receivers whatsoever. You had a Division II transfer in Jaquay Jackson, came over. Nobody else really moves me on tape. I'll tell you that right now. I've watched all the film I ever wanted to watch on Rutgers. And then their defense is beast. Defense was stout last year. Just a bunch of studs. The only guy, and this is going to sound crazy, the only guy of consequence that isn't returning next year is Deion Jennings, the leading tackler on the team. But he wasn't the real leader on this team is Mohammed. If you watch Tor on film, Mohammed is the guy. I promise you. He's a beast. Okay, that guy's everywhere. By the way, everybody returns until you get to Isaiah Aiton, and Max Melton obviously got drafted. But these two are gone. Everybody returns. If you go look at the depth chart for Rutgers, we'll talk about it up here. Nassim Brantley, I believe, was an FCS transfer last year. I talked about him in another video, Western Illinois and Sacred Heart. I forgot about the Sacred Heart transfer, but talked about him last year, was hoping he would play all right. Demir Miller was one of the nation's leading, I think he was the nation's leading receiver out of the FCS. Complete stud, had 9 offers when he hit the portal, chose Rutgers. Congratulations. They have a wide receiver room Maybe they get some passes now. Maybe they get some passes. Offensive line, I'll have to, I can double check my rankings. I can do that. Let me double check my rankings. What did I put them on? Let me go to Rutgers. Let's see what I rank this offense. It's in alphabetical order. There's Rutgers. I gave the offensive line an 8. I absolutely believe in this offensive line if I gave them an equivalent score to the running backs. So I really like the offensive line at Rutgers. An 8 is above average, y'all, obviously. I'm going to tell you that right now. At the Power 4 level, you should see nothing but at 7, 8, 9, and 10. And they got an 8. They're pretty good. Pretty good group. What's important, though, is Shedrick Rhodes is going to start. This is wrong. When I watch tape, this is another thing. When I went and watched tape on all these guys, Shedrick Rhodes is going to start. This is a 2-year starter from Ohio. They signed him in the transfer portal after spring football. You're not signing a guy for his final year of eligibility after being a multi-year starter to come be a backup. No, he's coming to start at that right tackle spot. Promise. Now we got Ethan Kaliak-Manis coming over from Minnesota. I wasn't sold on Ethan last year at Minnesota. Unfortunately for him, his offensive coordinator left right before the season started. He left Minnesota. So he had a new offensive coordinator, and he didn't quite grasp the offense, didn't take advantage of all the great wide receivers that Minnesota actually had, because they do have some decent wide receivers. They just don't use them. And now he hits the transfer portal, and he goes to Rutgers. And remember, I've been screaming, Rutgers, sign a quarterback, sign a quarterback. But I was expecting them to sign anybody. Matthew Sluka. Give me a baller. And instead they go and get Ethan Kaliak-Manis. So the connection here, if you didn't know, is Kirk Soraka. Kirk Soraka is that offensive coordinator from Minnesota. He is the offensive coordinator that used to be at Rutgers when they were good with Savage at quarterback and all those great wide receivers in the 2008-2009 timeframe. So he's always been there with Greg Schiano. So he joined Schiano's staff last year. Shows up, looks at Gavin Wimsatt and said, "This quarterback sucks. We need to hit the portal. Let's go pick up that kid I had at Minnesota. I know he can play better." And that's exactly what happened. So he brought over his quarterback that he's comfortable with, that he knows. And shout out to Ethan. He's learning an offense that he already knows. So he's ready to do it. He better not get injured. None of these guys have ever played football. None of these guys have played football. They got one quarter of football among the three of them. You've never seen the field? That's bad news. I promise you. Monangai, Samuel Brown, stud running backs. They got the workload. They're going to carry this thing. I just need a couple of big plays from Demir Miller, who knows what he's doing. I need some smart decisions from Kaliak-Manis. Complete more than 47% of your passes, bro. That's all we ask. We're not asking for the world to change. Just complete more than 47% of your passes. Now, defensively, like I said, I want you guys to pay attention here. Look at this class. Senior transfer, senior transfer. Everybody's a grown man on the Rutgers defense. They're all returning starters, and they're all grown-ass men. It's incredible. The transfer is Malcolm Ray. He comes over from Florida State, and he played some games and started some games at Florida State at the defensive tackle spot. Dude, this defense is all seniors. Are you kidding me? That don't happen. It's incredible, bro. Rutgers defense is about to go do the damn thing. Their defense was great last year. They were competitive against the best teams. I'm telling you, they were competitive against Michigan and Ohio State. The defense is stout. The offense could not get a first down, but the defense was great, and they're all back. Rutgers defense is real. I really believe in them. Another thing that's a really good sign that you have good team culture is you need to look at the departing transfers. All right? You're at Rutgers. Most people would leave. If you were a leader at Rutgers, you leave, you want to increase your draft stock, but you shouldn't leave. We just saw Max Melton. We just saw a guy get drafted. You don't need to leave. They'll still draft you out of Rutgers, so they all stayed. When you look at the talent that departed in the transfer portal, Gavin Wimsatt going to Kentucky, I don't know why Kentucky, he's from Kentucky, cool, but that's just a waste of a scholarship. That guy cannot play football at the FBS level. I already told you. 4 stars, my ass. They gave him 4 stars coming out of high school, moved him down to 3. Unless he's moving to safety, unless he's a new wide receiver, defensive back, tight end or something, that dude's not a quarterback. Evan Simon went to Temple. I think he moved again. I think he left. Rupp went somewhere. These guys landed somewhere. Doesn't matter. Look at who's leaving. Where are they going? What team are they helping? Aaron Young went to go be the starting running back at ODU. Congratulations. Dino comes with his brother. All right, cool. You followed his brother. I didn't mean to say that. All right. Now we got these other guys. They're going FCS and Delaware. I mean, that's borderline FBS because they'll be an FBS team next year. UTSA. Okay. Look. Oh, we got one Louisville. That's right. Renee. Hey, and Conga played only on third down. Played on third down, and he's a young guy. He's a young, talented guy on third down. Louisville offered him, and he took it. Outside of that, bro, you're not going to see any guys leaving this team that were FBS caliber. The players departing couldn't play at this echelon. And most of them, even Wimsat. So that means they kept everybody who's FBS caliber. I love it, man. I love it. Now let's go look at the schedule for next year. You open up at home, back-to-back weeks, Howard Bison and Akron Zips. Now, I love the Akron Zips. I've looked them over, really dissected them. Their defense looks very improved. I like the Akron Zips. They look a lot like Rutgers, but, the mini version. They're going to blow these dudes out. They're going to win both these games. They got 2 weeks to prepare for Virginia Tech. I don't like the way they match up with Virginia Tech. I actually think at home against Washington, I don't know how Washington scores on these guys. I really don't. I don't know how Washington scores on them. I think it's going to be an ugly game, and Washington's cupboard's bare. I like Rutgers in that game. I can't wait to see the spread. MVPs, circle that game. Wait till Vegas gets it wrong. Because they're going to read the helmets, and they're not going to check the rosters. Rutgers can play with Washington. I like Rutgers in this game. I like Rutgers against a freshman quarterback in Nebraska. You go on the road at Nebraska against a true freshman quarterback, no speed at running back, nothing to worry about. I like it. I don't like the way they match up with Wisconsin. I love the way they match up with UCLA. Not USC, not Minnesota. Give me these last three. Give me these last three teams. Impossible. These last three teams ain't scoring on them. I'm letting you know. Maryland, Illinois, Michigan State. I love Michigan State this year. I think they're very improved. Illinois is not scoring on them. Maryland's going to get mollywopped. Is that a word? Mollywopped? Maryland's getting dragged, bro. I don't care. I'm telling you what I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give me a seventh win somewhere. It's a value bet. I'm sure it's a value bet. I don't know the odds. Somebody check the sports book. But I'm on the over for Rutgers. I'm on the over. I actually think their offense will get first downs. Their defense is going to be dominant. Their offensive line is an 8. If I give you an 8 on the offensive line, please understand what I'm saying. Look, man, I'm going to show you guys. If I give you an 8 on the offensive line, that means I think you're comparable to Arizona, who returns 4 starters. You're comparable to Clemson. You're comparable to Georgia Tech, who returns 4 starters. Iowa State, who returns 4 or 5 starters. Kentucky, who's an SEC offensive line. Michigan State. This is an 8. Rutgers. Listen to the teams with 8s. UCLA, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Those are all the teams I gave 8s. It's not an accident, bro. I'm sitting down, watching film, studying these players, and Rutgers feels real to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, at least 7 wins. 6.5, give me the over. Hopefully it's positive money. 1 unit, it's a lean. 1 unit, it's a lean. Give me the over. Break down every single team, every single coaching staff, every position group. This time I didn't have to go really in depth on it because they're all returning. They're all starters. Literally, all of them. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all. Make sure you become an MVP. Watch all the other videos. Go on.